Yes, it's everybody's favourite time of the day. Once again, welcome to Satoshi's Bitcoin Chart Show. This is the Bitcoin forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network, where we find out what's up with what is going down. Today's date is Monday, the 14th of April, 2025. The year BSV comes alive. Right, let's get into it.
See Satoshi like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, and transactions flying free. Just wait for the terror node, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. Right, let's have a look at this then. So Gregcoin at 84,826. And for any newbies watching the show, this is why we call it Gregcoin, because it was Greg Maxwell that came up with the concept of what BTC is today, which is like digital dog shit, not many use it, store of crap, and all that kind of rubbish. And the name Gregcoin was given to it by Mike Hearn on the 29th of July 2015. And first in time is first in line, so that's why it's called Gregcoin. You got B Crash 341, what a joke. Fish price cash, who cares? But then we've got Bitcoin. The original protocol goes right back to the Genesis block. It hasn't changed, making it the real Bitcoin, the true Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin. And the world's first and only ever digital commodity backed by the value of data sovereignty, making it the most valuable commodity on earth because it's an extension of our own personal freedoms and liberties. And as you can see, when Gregcoin forked off on the 1st of August 2017, that's to implement replay protection to prevent transactions flowing back onto the main chain. Same with Bcrash, they did the same. But the original protocol and only chain of signatures still intact that goes right the way back to the Genesis block that hasn't changed is the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin that now has the ticker symbol BSV due to political shenanigans, but that is it. BSV Bitcoin is the only digital commodity because data can only be commoditized one way, indicated by this box at the top here where you have economic competition, a chain of digital signatures, unbounded scale and a fixed token supply, and those elements being locked. So Gregcoin no longer has a chain of digital signatures, and neither does Bcrash, which means that they're vulnerable and they're centrally controlled, turning them into economically worthless security offerings. There we go. Right, so just $28. $28. Let's look at the hash rate. We'll have a difficulty adjustment on Gregcoin. So it's stuck all-time high right now, just maintaining that difficulty. Bitcoin, though, looking very fluid here. Very fluid. Changing all the while, just on the uptick a little bit there. Very good, very good. Let's have a look at the hash rate. So finally, I think CoinDance is working today, so we'll get to see what this increase in hash rate on Bcrash looks like and who might be adding it. And again, we'll have a look at the profitability because that'll be quite obvious as to what's going on. But Bitcoin hash rate, steady as I like along the bottom there, very good, steady for all the miners. Right, we'll get rid of that. There we go. So hash rate looked at, network nodes 0.18. So for any newbies who haven't seen a network node, these are they. It's the backbone to the new global financial system, the world's first ever commoditized digital network. Honestly, for commercial use cases, blows my mind every time. Every time. All this stemmed from just one 9-page white paper. Just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So let's have, we'll just get rid of that quickly. So let's have a look at transactions then. So 86.9%. Look, the transactions are being maintained. I mean, this is huge. This is huge. 86.99% across the Bitcoin forks. We'll compare that across the entire market. Oh, it's on the uptick. Look, 55.5% of the entire market's transaction volume on this one, on genuine Bitcoin. And this is compared to the 40,000 shitcoins on the market, including Gregcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Look, they literally cannot touch genuine Bitcoin. Can't get anywhere near it. XRP maxed out at 2 million transactions in 24 hours. Couldn't sustain it. Had to back down again. And here's Bitcoin sustaining this 3.1 million transactions over the last 24 hours. We'll just cross-reference that with what's on chain. Yep, 3.1. 3,171,798 transactions over the last 24 hours. 30 hash representing 1.4. Weather chain also 1.4. All right, and we've got a new one here. Bittails or Bytails. 262,000 transactions. Obreturn 19,000. TimeFTX.com 8,567. All right, very good, very good. So data size then, look at this. So again, across all Bitcoin forks, 93.53%. So what happens is the data is the amount of information, digital information being uploaded onto the network, represented by the block size. So the data is uploaded via the transactions. The transactions are processed by the nodes that create blocks and supply the hash rate. And the hash rate is meant to be attracted to the value, which is meant to be representative of the price, but the price is currently manipulated. But when education catches up with speculation, you can guarantee the speculative prices will soon start to match their fundamental values. Block size and transactions are sanity. Network nodes and hash rate are vanity. They literally mean nothing without these first two. They are the core foundations of the Bitcoin network because Bitcoin is an economic model. But they don't want you to know that. Let's have a look at the blocks coming through. 15, 13, 23, 11. Oh, do we have any 100 megabyte blocks? Oh, that's a shame, but never mind. Still got double digits here. 12, 11, 13, 23, 11, 13, 10. 27, 28, 11, 63. That's the biggest block there, 63 megabytes. So again, more data in that one block than Gregcoin has got in its entire column. Gregcoin finally got all of its block back over just 1 megabyte. But again, we've got 68 in just one block. They've just got 1 in each block. It's nuts. B crash, no blocks over a megabyte. And Fisher Price cache. Oh, nope, still can't get all their blocks over a kilobyte, let alone anywhere near a megabyte. But I mean, they're ghost chains. Look, Bcrash and Fisher Price Cache, there is literally nothing on them. The big dogs are these two. And look at the price, look, $28. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, 28.08 top left there. All right. Yay, we've got the rest of the charts to look at this morning then. Here we go. Hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility, follows creativity, initiative, and intelligence. If you are intelligent and you apply creativity and initiative, you can make something useful. If something is useful, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. If something is useful, it's valuable. If something is useless, it's worthless. It's that simple. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. Proof of work by network again, so this is wasted computational power on a chain that does nothing. But again, when education catches up with speculation, the proof of work will move onto the genuine Bitcoin because that's where all the transactions are. And you need proof of work. Well, the proof of work will be effectively an economic investment by the miners to chase the most valuable chain. And the most valuable chain will be the chain that the most people use that has the most transactions on it. It's all coming over to Bitcoin. Currently 67,933 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin. Mining Bitcoin at a 49% comparable loss. So that just means that shitcoins aren't going to be touching Bitcoin with a barge pole. Literally, they're just not holding any of that. However, it's 3.9% more profitable to mine on Fisher Price Cache over Gregcoin. But again, you're mining a B crash at a 6.8% comparable loss. So overall, 10.7%. 10% more profitable, over 10% more profitable to mine on Fisher Price Cache over B crash. Daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Look, the block size on a log curve, absolutely smashing it. Transactions by network on the log curve. Transactions per block by network on a log curve, smashing it. Daily average Bitcoin fees. Oh look, the fees have risen up on Gregcoin. Can't support volume of transactions coming through. So it might have increased transactions, which is why all the blocks were over a megabyte. But it was struggling before that. It's gone up on the log curve there. I suspect they're fake transactions. I suspect that they now are spamming the network in order to increase fees because they can create as many bullshit transactions as they want because the central banks can just print fiat currency from nothing. We'll just make it up. It costs them nothing to make a transaction. Absolutely nothing. So fees USD, look at that. Fees right down there. Probably that looks to me like they're saying, well, that sub-cent, so it must be like quarter of a cent. Daily average Bitcoin fees by network Satoshis. That's the cost per transaction. Satoshis right down there on the log curve. Daily Bitcoin fee to block reward ratio. So again, what we're looking at here is the red line represented by the solid blue line here. So as the block reward continues to get cut in half, Every 210,000 blocks, the block fee will surpass the block reward, and then we have an economically self-sustaining system, which is what we're gunning for, which is what the central banks and the cabal are desperately trying to prevent by developing second-layer solutions and starving the miners of the fees, so that when the block reward goes to zero, the chain will inevitably collapse and go to zero. Or like Andreas Antonopoulos said, they'll probably add inflation to keep it going, which means they'll centrally control it, or they'll turn it to proof of stake. So again, not an economically competitive system. Either way, it's done for completely. Daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network. Look at that. So it would take Gradecoin 1,000 years to catch up with Bitcoin there. And as Satoshi Nakamoto said, it's strictly necessary that the longest chain is always considered the valid one. And the longest chain is the one with the most data on it, which is here. Amazing. Here we go. Let's have a look at the mining. So global hash rate 7 days, global hash rate 24 hours. Gradecoin hash rate. Other miners 3.47 on there. Look at this. Look at this B crash. Other miners now with 63.19% on there. Look at that, chomping away at the block reward on B crash. That is huge. So that's what would indicate the increase in the hash rate. Other mining pools having to increase it, probably because maybe an increase in price to bring the profitability back down. But that's massive. B crash is literally like a dead coin spinning. It's going to flatten out soon, go to zero. Fisher price cash, not really bothered. But Bitcoin, we'll have to look at this, cross-reference it on what's on chain, because CoinDance aren't telling the truth there. You got QD Link 33.1, Kuv 31.7, Tal 22.07, SA100 11.03, all Gorilla Pools being squeezed there, 2.07%. Crypto Quant, exchanges reserve, look. Exchange is just getting rid of their reserves hand over fist. Don't want to be holding that shitcoin when the music stops. No way. They know what's coming. Let's have a look at the Tether weather. Oh, look at this. Oh, so pretty, not really too much there. Look, they burnt some, pumped some into the market just to maybe sort of try and inflate the price a little bit, but you know, nowhere near $1 billion a day, which is what we were used to looking at when it was going on this epic rise here. Literally just being used by the markets to inflate the cryptocurrencies. That is it. That is it. So no wonder Gradecoin's not doing all that well, because it's got nothing pumping it, because it's got no use case. You can't use it. Not many use it. Digital dog shit, remember? What a joke. Alright, let's have a look at money. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Still 22.87 million, but that is steady growth there. Really steady growth there of the stablecoin on BSV. Beautiful, beautiful. Actually, I wonder if CoinMarketCap has got Swiss franc stablecoin on here. Let's have a look. Oh, no way! So Solana has got a Swiss franc stablecoin on there, supposedly. Oh, but Centi's one not listed. But that's fascinating. But again, you know, Solana, completely centrally controlled network, utterly pointless having any of your value on there at all. They just wipe it. It's crazy. They're only using it for trading, really, you know. Interesting. Right, let's have a look at the short ratio. Again, this is sentiment in the market. Short ratio 0.44. Right, let's have a look at some of these exchanges then. Qcoin just 105,000. OKX 1.1 million. Gate.io 1.2 million. Well done them. Binance Futures 3.7. MEXC, nothing to write home about. What else have we got on here? Poloniex 7.1. So that's like the biggest one so far. 7.1. 3.1 on Huobi. Right, I'm gonna have to get on to Poloniex and have a look. Huobi then, yeah, a $3 million 24-hour turnover of genuine Bitcoin. Oof, can you imagine? Just $3 million is nothing. Nothing. Gate.io 1.2 million, so half that of Huobi at the moment. Q coin, look at that. So that's when the price shot up to almost like $60. Nothing really interesting to see right here. Yeah, not a lot going on. But only $2,000? $2,000 24-hour trade volume is not much at all. OKX, that's $40,000. Nothing. That is nothing. Zedixin, $10. Something's not right. Right, let's have a look at Bitcoin versus Gregcoin. So just coming down on the market though, but every time they push it down, it just becomes more attractive to investors. That's all it is. Just making it look better and better and better. I mean, they're trying to discredit it. Oh, the market's decided, all that nonsense. But it's all about utility. They don't realise that it's not a security. It's not like a stock. It's an economic model, and they just simply aren't aware of what it is. You know, crazy. Let's have a look at Bitcoin versus US dollar. Just trending along sideways there. Here we go. Oh, really? There we go. So yeah, Bitcoin versus Gregcoin. Yeah, just sort of on its way down, just trending down just slightly. Again, but it's all market manipulation. Bitcoin versus USD. Plodding along sideways there. That's all right. Satoshi Observer. So we're at 10,000 of a cent. 10,000 of a cent per transaction, and we're at 36 transactions per second. And that's against Gregcoin. I think that Gregcoin will tell you they've been around since 2009 as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, but it's only got 5 transactions per second. And Bcrash doing one transaction every 5 seconds. Oh dear! I mean, look at the prices. It's $28.51. Crazy. Overall market then, market cap $2.6 trillion, 24-hour trade volume 79 billion. Gregcoin 84,363. Let's have a look at this. So just slightly heading up in the week. Though 24-hour trade volume literally just 1.7. A healthy market should be around 5%. 1.7. It will get absolutely crushed. All you need is like literally just 1%, 1.7% of the market, even less than that. You just 1% of the market to change its mind and it's gone. Literally gone. Trade volume just 29 billion. It's nothing. It's nothing compared to a $1.6 trillion market cap. Absolutely nothing. Let's have a look at the rest of the market then. ETH recovering a little bit, $1,600. XRP not really doing too much there at just $2.12. Generally the market sentiment is up, but look, I mean, they're all copying each other. They're all mirrors. The people are saying, oh yeah, they do different things. They do nothing. They're all the same. They're literally just Ponzi scheme after Ponzi scheme, probably managed by the same group of people. Like, you manage that 10, you manage that 10, you manage that 10. That's why we're seeing it all. You know, they're all being carefully managed by those who don't want Bitcoin to be noticed by the general public. $28.10 for Bitcoin here. While we're here, so just plodding along, up on the week, down on the month. We'll have a look at Mana. There we go. Oh, Mantra. Look at this. Look at this. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at the state of that. So where did that go? Let's see what happened. Volume. So it had volumes of what, 136 million. 136 million. So it had a 24-hour high before it got rug pulled of $6. Yeah, $6.33, and now it's at just 40 cents. 40 cents. Crikey. Yeah, so that really would have had billions, because it's got even now it's got, after it's been rug pulled, it's got a market cap of 541 million. So just double that. That's a billion. So what, probably had a market cap of like 3 billion or something like that. 3 billion, and look, the whole thing rugged. The whole thing rugged. I mean, that is nuts. That is nuts. And it's even made headlines here in Cointelegraph. Look, top one. Mantra token price collapses by over 90% in 24 hours. Oh my goodness, look. But what I'll do is I will save that for a Satoshi's Daily Dose of News later, is when we'll go through that. But I mean, look at that. One of the biggest rugs ever. Literally. So you're yeah, wiping 2.5 trillion, 2.5 billion. So literally you're wiping 2.5 billion out. And some, you know, a group of people have got that. $2.5 billion. And again, they would have rugged it into USDT. Yeah, literally just like plummeted the market like that. Like, whoa. I mean, it's the easiest thing to get out into USDT, you know. But you can only sell it if other people are buying, you know. So people have lost out big time there. Like, big time there. And what time did that happen? So that looked like it was 5 o'clock yesterday is when it started. Oh, yeah, today you can see the 2 hours, like, boom, straight down. Good grief. Good grief. And they said the Mantra DAO was rebranded to Mantra for more information. So it's the DAO, look, the supposedly decentralized autonomous organization. Yeah, right. I think this literally just it completely exposes what DAOs really are. They're just a group of people with central control of everything. You know, that's really what it is. Wow. Wow. Mind you, let's have a quick look at Bitcoin here. So yeah, Huobi in first, CoinDCX in second, CoinEX third, Hotcoin in fourth, Gate.io fifth, and OKX in sixth. Again, there'll be massive drops there. OKX just like a few 100,000 turnover. You know, something's going on. Anyway. There we go. That's a 22-minute show. We'll leave you there. Hope you enjoyed it. So as ever, if you enjoyed these updates, please ding all donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi at Semi.com, Handcash.io, RockWallet.me, Simply.cash, Relasia.com, or Senti.ch. We'll leave you there. Hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.